So since yesterday we worked on creating database tables, data dictionary tables, right? Creating custom data dictionary tables and assigning foreign key relationships and creating table maintenance generator screens to maintain the data in master data tables, to insert new records or to modify or to update the existing records of the table, right? If you want to correct any data, can we change the primary key fields data in table maintenance generator screen? Can we change primary key values?
No.
No, we cannot change the primary key values. We can only change non-primary key field values in the table maintenance generator. Okay. Okay, let's go back to the basics. So in previous sessions, we discussed about SAP ERP, right? Enterprise Resource Planning software. So SAP is a product developed by SAP company. SAP is the organization. So it developed SAP ERP, and to create any custom applications or standard applications, sorry, to enhance the standard applications, we use ABAP, right? ABAP is a fourth generation programming language. Okay, if you want to know the generations of the programming language, you can find it in the playlist in the previous classes. You can check that. And we have two kinds of systems like OLTP and OLAP. What is OLTP system? Online transactional processing system, where daily business transactions will be creating, right? The examples for OLTP system is any uh, system of bank clerk, right? ATM, billing counter in any shopping mall, right? So railway ticket booking system. These are all the examples for OLTP systems. So what about OLAP system? It is for data analysis, analyze the business data, right? For decision making, the management will take decisions based on the business analysis, right? So that they can improve their business, right? It's for better decision making. So why we maintain two different systems? Because if we apply data aggregation on OLTP, right, at the same time where on the other hand transactions are going on, right? So there will be a huge load on the system. It will impact the performance of the OLTP system. That's why we separate OLAP system. So every day after business hours, all the transactions created in the OLTP system will be copied to OLAP system using ETL. What is ETL? Extraction, transformation and loading process, right? There are different kinds of ETLs available in the market, right? So all ETL tools will support this process. So extracting the data from OLTP system and moving that data to OLAP system, so that reports will be built on top of this OLAP data. Okay, is everyone clear? So in this example, SAP ERP is the OLTP system, and for OLAP we have SAP BW. That is the example for SAP OLAP system, data warehouse. And the current version of SAP ERP, what we are using is SAP S4 HANA, right? So it runs only on HANA database. HANA is the in-memory database. It runs only on HANA database. But previous version ECC is database independent. It can run on any database, right? But if
Yes.
you talk about the performance, which one is better, ECC or S4 HANA?
It's for
S4
HANA.
HANA is the better, right? So all the applications of ECC are optimized to run on HANA database. Okay, and all the applications and tables are simplified. Okay, all the complex tables and applications are simplified, right? And they can run on HANA database. So the current version of SAP ERP is SAP S4 HANA, and there are different versions releasing every year, like 2021, 2022, 2023. Okay, 2023 is the current version of SAP S4 HANA. Okay, we have different functional modules in SAP like sales and distribution, material management, FICO, finance, right, plant maintenance. So it supports all kinds of business functionalities, right? So every business functionality has its own functional domain and application. So functional consultants, right, will take care of gathering the requirements and preparing the functional specification documents, where technical people like ABAP developers are needs to work on. That depends on the inputs from the functional consultants. Okay. If you need any configurations, test data, or if you have any questions on the business logic, functional consultants are the point of contact for all the clarifications. Okay. So what is SAP architecture? R3 architecture. It follows R3 architecture, right? So when it is designed 1980s, it is running on R1 architecture, like database, application, and presentation, all are on the same system, right? Later they come up with R2 architecture, where they separated the presentation layer and application and database layer, right? And later they come up with R3 architecture, where we have three different servers for presentation nothing but GUI, where we can access the system, right? You don't need to install any servers in the presentation layer, but it's just a GUI screen. Application layer, where your application programs will be reside and execute, and we have a separate layer, database layer, right? So where all the database tables will be available, right? So application server and database server uh, installed in a two different systems, where we can where both interact whenever required. Okay. Master data and transactional data. So master data is something which changes very rarely, like your bank customer master data, like address, phone number, email ID, right? Your name. This is all comes under master data. And transactional data. So transactional data is something which changes very frequently, like any business transactions. So, so these are the basic syntaxes which we use in ABAP programs. Okay. So these are the basic syntaxes which we use in ABAP programs. So as of now, we understood like how to create a database table, but in the program, we can access the database tables data, right? So before that, we'll work on some basics of ABAP programming and basic syntaxes. Okay. What is the transaction code to create a program?
SC38.
SC38.
SC38. In SAP, we use the transaction codes to access any application, right? So SC38 is the transaction code to create the program. So what is the rule in ABAP, like in SAP, for custom objects? It should start
Answer
with,
Should
Z
starts
or
with
Y.
Y or Z.
yeah, Z or Y. Okay, it can starts with Z or it can starts with Y, and no spaces allowed. Z demo program 1. I'm trying to create one new program. Create program. Looks like it is already available. If the program is already available, right, you can edit the program and you can do the
I have
changes and
created that
activate it.
program.
Okay, good. So it won't allow duplicate names for the program name. Program. Okay. Create the program. Provide the title of the program. So when you execute the program, it will display the title. Okay. Demo program. Type of the program is executable program. Save it in the local object nothing but a local folder, so where you can organize all your objects like tables, okay, programs, data elements, domains. But usually in the projects we don't use a local object. We save we save our developments in a proper package name. Okay. Observe here. So this is the program source code. What is this section? This is commented.
Commented area.
This is commented area, where you can provide few details about your program. Okay. So where you can enter some details about the program. What is the purpose of the program? What is the functionality of the program and everything. Okay. The first statement of the ABAP program should be this: report and program name, report and program name. Okay. So this is mandatory that the first statement of the program should be report and program name. Okay. Clear? And every statement in ABAP should end with the dot. Okay. Now let's display some simple output. So I'm explaining from the beginning so that if everyone missed the initial classes, you can catch up. So how to display some output, like if you like whoever learning C or C++, you might be, what would be your first statement? Hello world, right? To print the
Yes,
output
sir.
using printf, right? So here, what is the statement we use to print the output?
Right. Right.
WRIT, write. Write is the syntax to print the output. Here, enter the text, whatever you want to print. Now, what is the next step? Check the
Save.
syntax. Yeah, save the program. Check
Check
the
and act.
syntax, no syntax errors, and activate the program. As long as it is inactive, you cannot execute this. Okay, activate the program. To test the program or to execute the program, we use F8. Keyboard shortcut is F8, or you can click on this direct processing. Okay, this is the output. This is the output. We call this as output screen. Okay, clear? So this is how we can print the output. If you want to apply any color to the output, we have color codes between 0 to 7, I think. Color, I've applied color 6. Execute. So it will highlight the text in a specific color. So that like that you can use different color codes from 0 to 7. Right? Is everyone clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, here we are not accepting any input, right? We are not accepting any input, right, for the program. We are just displaying the same data every time. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Let me comment this. To comment this statement, how to comment this? What is the shortcut? Control left arrow. Press control left arrow to comment it. Now it is commented. It won't execute. Okay. To uncomment it, place the cursor on that statement and control right arrow. It will uncomment it. Okay. So now the program is not accepting any input and it is printing same data every time. But I want to print dynamic data. Depends on the user choice. The user should be able to enter the new input every time. For that, what is the syntax available in ABAP? To define the user inputs?
Parameter.
Parameters. Parameters is the statement which defines the user inputs, right? And provide the parameter name, any name as per the naming convention. It will accept any name. For example, as per the naming convention, I'll give p underscore input. P underscore input. Is it going to work? I'll print the output. Whatever the data entered by the user, I'll print it using write statement. So write p underscore input. Do we need to use single quotes? Do we need to use
No.
single quotes like this? Because it's not hard coded text, right?
Yes.
Because it's not hard coded text. We are just want to print whatever the data available in this p underscore input. Now tell me, is this code going to work?
No.
Why?
So the P input is not assigned to anything.
Type, right? So what type of
Yes.
input it is? Is it a character type data like any text? Or is it a number? Or is it an integer? Right? Or is it a date? Or is it a time? I did not define any type for this. What type of input it is? Right? Let's try first check the syntax. Is there any syntax errors?
No errors.
No errors. Activate the program. Let me try to execute. I did not provide any data type using type statement, but still it's not showing any syntax error because what is the default behavior of the variables or parameters? If you don't provide any type or length, by default, it will take character 1. It will accept a single character data. Okay? It will accept a single character data by default. That is the default behavior of the parameter or variable using data statement. Right? So I'm trying to activate the program. Activate the program, select your program and activate. Why you are able to see a lot of other programs here? Because the same best user ID is creating a lot of other programs too. They did not activate the programs. So that's why it is showing all these objects. You can ignore all the other programs. Make sure you select your program and click on continue to activate the program. Okay. So the program is active now. It is in active state. How to execute?
Direct processing.
Now what is the expected result? Is it going to display the output screen directly?
No, I
No.
think.
First it will display the selection screen because we have defined the parameter user inputs. First it will display selection screen where you can enter the data. Okay? Where you can enter the data. By default, it can accept a single character. Okay? Because we did not define any type for it. Execute. So it will display whatever the data we entered in p underscore input. Right? It will hold that value. It will hold that value. Now let me assign a proper type. Type. How to assign data types? C for character and length. Assign the length. For example, 10 characters. Activate the program again. So program is active now. Now test the program. Execute. Now it's provided an option to enter the 10 characters. Okay. Execute. So it will display the output, whatever you entered in the input screen. selection screen. Okay. So what do we call this screen? Where it will display the input parameters. This is called selection screen.
Selection screen.
And what about this screen? This is
Output
output
screen.
screen. So this is the program title, demo program, whatever it is displaying here, right? This is the title, program title, which I have provided at the time of creating the program. What type of program we created? Executable program, right? There are different types of programs. So out of all those programs, we created executable program, which can accept the input and return the output, display the output independently. Okay, clear?
So
We can also define multiple parameters. You can also define multiple parameters. For that, you can use one more parameter statement, type. For number, I'll take n, right? Data type n is for number, right? And assign the
yes,
length. If you don't assign any length by default, it can accept
we'll
only
take
single
one
number.
single carrier, single number.
I'll give some 10 as the length. You need to write one more parameter statement to define the one more second parameter. That is not necessary. Okay, remove this. Use chain operator. We call this as chain operator, colons, chain operator, and use comma here. Okay, it will accept. It will define two parameters. Right? You can use chain operator in ABAP. Right? To use multiple declarations. To print this one, you can use separate write statement. Right? It will print two different outputs, or use chain operator for write statement, comma p underscore number. Okay, activate this. Now execute this. We have two inputs in the selection screen. Enter some value for character type input and enter number for number type. Let me enter some characters also. I'm trying to enter characters, but it is not accepting because it is number type. Okay.
Number type.
Now execute the program. Sorry. Now execute the program. This is the output. If you want to apply any color for the output, use a color
Color
code,
option.
any color code. Execute. Right. And if you want to display the output in next line, the second parameter in the next line, use a backslash.
Hash.
Okay. So we have a lot of other data types like packed decimal, date, time, integer, right? So we'll start working on all those data types one by one, including variables, work areas, and internal table, right? So I'll pause it for today. So next in tomorrow's session, we'll start with variables, work areas, and internal tables.